Yes. Hey guys, Gerald Peters, welcome back to my channel. If you like talking about stocks, you like talking about trading, you like talking about investing, and I understand the difference between the two, today I'm going to talk about how to trade around your investments. I do this I'm a professional investor trader. I do basically in two asset classes, real estate and the stock market. Now, one of the things I like about the stock market is it allows me to invest in a lot of things that I personally couldn't do. Like, I don't understand how to run a tech company, but I can read about it, follow the charts, and invest in it, right? I don't understand how to run a public storage facility, but I can take my money from my real estate, which I do understand, and I can invest in it. See what I'm saying? Or I can take the money that I make at my job or from selling a book. You know, I've written a few books. You buy a book, good chance I'm going to invest that money in the strategies that I teach here on YouTube and Instagram. Now, if you don't know, I put out a newsletter for entertainment called the Money Flow Trading System, which is right out of my book. Now, this book isn't free, but this book is totally free. No guru funnel. I'm not going to try to get you in something, bang you with a bunch of shit to buy something. You read this and never buy anything from me, cool. In this book, this stock is mentioned, Chevron. The reason it's mentioned is inside of the book, I teach this idea of the dogs of the Dow. It's chapter 10, it's called Dog Power, and I show you how to use this simple strategy and actually begin to build wealth. This is a simple strategy. It's been around for over 60 years. It's literally beat the stock market almost every year, and it takes 2 transactions once a year. Like, it's so simple that if you're not doing this, it's just because you're a dumb person, or, I don't know why. I don't know why you wouldn't be doing this, or you're just ignorant and don't know. Like, no one's ever showed you. So that's why I'm here, to show you. So that book is free. So get the book, and then you won't be ignorant. And then you'll be smart, and then you'll own stocks like this that produce income, produce cash flow, and make you money. And you'll begin to build your wealth. You know, you can double your money every 7.2 years if you can just simply get a 10% return. I mean, I posted on Instagram the other day how I'm getting a 30% cash on cash return from a remodel I did on a house. Now, I just told you you could double your money every 7.2 years. What happens when you get a 30% return? That's like doubling your money every 3 years. What if you could do that in the stock market? Now, obviously, I can't guarantee you will, but I can show you some skill sets, some ideas, some things that I've been doing for 20-something years now. I consider myself a professional trader and investor. And there's a distinction between the two, and I think my last video was about that. This is my childlike drawing of Chevron. Very childlike, maybe 4th grade, maybe not. And this is an anatomy of the trade. In my free newsletter, the Money Flow newsletter, this was my trade of the week last week, whatever the date this video is published, okay? And this is just for education to explain why I got into Chevron. Now, I actually own a core position of Chevron that I own for life, that over time I just slowly grow it up. But I also trade Chevron, meaning I take my investments, and when my investment's set up correctly on my charts as a trade inside my trading system, I will add to that position and then make money, quick money, fast money off a swing trade on Chevron while owning a core position that pays me 4% dividend yield. Make sense? So I'm trading a company that I already know. This is not some weird ass Bitcoin or Techco or crypto or something I don't know about. It's Chevron. Let's say the trade totally goes to shit and I wake up and it's down 20%. You think Chevron's going out of business? No. So now we have time on our side. We have comfort on our side, and we understand the company in which we're trading. Makes all this a lot easier, okay? We can get a little bit loose with these stops that traders like to use. We can get a little bit looser with the 3-to-1 reward because of the nature of what we're trading here. And so we see this is a daily chart. These are daily bars. Again, my 4th grade drawing. This is a 20-day moving average. This is essential. See, I believe, and others believe, and it's not just me, it's not proprietary. I didn't create it. I don't know who did. I first learned about it from a guy named Stan Weinstein. Stan Weinstein had a newsletter that was out in the 80s and 90s. He'd already quit when I started looking at it. It was called The Tape Reader. And he believed that the market moved in 4 stages. And I think it goes back even further than Stan Weinstein. I think it goes all the way back to the rice traders and, in Japan. I don't know. But the 4 stages, and it does this on all time frames. It's fractal, whether you're on a 1-minute chart, 5-minute chart, a 1-hour chart, a daily chart, weekly chart, or monthly chart. I use the daily chart. I only trade on a daily chart, and I only go to a weekly chart when I can't find what I need on the daily. Support, resistance, targets. It's the only reason you would take me to a weekly, because if you go to a weekly and then drop down, then go to a weekly, you're just going to fuck your brain all up. You're never actually going to be focused on what it is for me anyway. Maybe you're different. Okay. Chevron. So the market moves in 4 stages. Pull up any chart of any stock, any index, and you'll see this clear as day. Look in my book on the 4 stages. And in my book, I have this as example. Markets can only go sideways, up, or sideways. That's it. That's all markets can do. Sideways up, sideways down. Sideways up, sideways down. That's all markets can do. And so if we can begin to plot this and we begin to see the price movement, that this shit is normal. It's normal for stocks to run up, sell off, run up, sell off. That's normal. Fear and greed moves the markets. Markets go too far, markets go too down. Now here's the thing about the stages. If a market is in what I call a stage 4 decline, which is confirmed when price closes under the 20-day moving average, and we have a clear zone of rollover. And we saw this in Chevron. It ran up. Now when it ran up here, I'm using another indicator called RSI, right? You have to look in my book for the settings, but I'm using the RSI. It's nothing magical. It's available to everyone. But what it does do is it gives me a method, a robotic-like pattern. It gives me a way of valuing and saying this has gone too far, too fast, the same for every stock, index, fund, ETF, ETN. It allows me to keep everything systematic. And so while I'm following 50 to 70 charts, every time I look at an RSI, it's the same for all of them. And so I can quickly go too far, too far, too far, too far, too far, right? Not far enough. So it can go too high or it can drop too low. And so the indicator will tell me. Now, what do I do if it's in the middle? What's it telling me? Nothing. I'm looking for extreme highs and extreme lows. That gives me my points. The extreme high gives me a target point to sell some shares. I want to sell my trades into strength so that when we finally do have weakness, I lose less money. So as I'm making money, I scale out, but I scaled in to begin, and then I scale out at the end. Scale in to begin the trade. I want to buy in 2 and 3 locations when the risk is less, down lower, and then I want to scale out of the trade as I make money and it goes into profit. Now remember, I have a core position in Chevron, so it's okay that I scale out and make that quick money. I can make a year's worth of dividends in one trade. One swing trade, I can collect a year's worth of dividends on Chevron while maintaining my core position in Chevron. So I'm playing the best of all games. I'm investing, I'm buying, holding, and I'm trading. So as Chevron went into this most recent stage 4 decline, indicators, RSI, signal that we probably had hit a low. Now this thing is a proxy for oil, so I go look at the commodity of oil. It's one of the indexes that I track, and what do I see? Lo and behold, oil is sitting at a solid support zone. I go look at Exxon. Exxon looks the same. I go look at ConocoPhillips. It looks the same. I go look at the oil service companies. See how I follow the rabbit hole? Everything looks right. What do I see? I see prices holding this. Oil's at a pretty decent discount. And then what happened? I watch oil. I take a position, what I call first position, and all of a sudden I start to be right. It moves up. We get our breakout, $2 higher. I go all in on my trade, whatever that means to you. In other words, I buy 1 time, I buy 2 times. I'm looking to buy 2 times. These are the only 2 fucking locations I'm looking to buy. So if you send me a chart and it doesn't show an extreme low on the RSI, price looks to be at the very bottom of a long sell-off, that's where I buy, and then I buy when price breaks out above the 20-day moving average. So if those aren't occurring, I don't have any opinion. It just is there. It has nothing to do with me. So go look at Twitter right now. If you see the time, I don't know the date of this when you're watching this, you're going to see this same pattern. And so I initiated position 1. Now, key to this is you're buying quality companies. They don't have to have a dividend. The biggest movers don't technically have dividends. But the safest movers are, doing a trade like this with AT&T, you sleep so easy. It is so easy to buy 300 shares of AT&T and feel good, catch a $1 move, right? Catch a $1 move, make yourself $900, close it out, put that money to the side. You could now invest that money if you want it. And so you begin to churn and create profits by creating swing trades out of your core positions. So I call this position trading. Other people may call it something else. We're doing okay on time. I'm trying not to make these too long. And so key to this is understanding this 20-day moving average. Key to this is not so much about the average. The average isn't magical. It's where is price in relation to the average. If price is above it, I assume price is going to keep going up. And you say, well, Drew, how could you know that? I don't know. I don't need to know. These are the rules of the game that I play. Just like if I was playing blackjack and the dealer gave me a 9 and a 2 and the dealer has a 5, that's a bust card for the dealer. This is a double down. For me, this is the ultimate hand to double down. That doesn't mean I know the next card. And so once you become comfortable with that uncertainty, that's the risk. That is what keeps most people out of trading and investing. If you can just become comfortable with that, if you can become comfortable with risk and understand that, yeah, there's just fucking risk, dude. Sorry, that's life. The more you become comfortable with that, the easier this gets. You know how many people I meet got $10,000, $15,000 saved for an emergency, and they've had that money saved for that emergency for 5 years? Now, what did I tell you? If you could get 30%, if you consistently could get 30%, you're going to double your money every 3 years. That 15 would now be 30. 30 would be 90, and my friend's still sitting on 15. He doesn't have the skill set or the knowledge or the mind, right? He's not studying this idea of getting rich, this idea of the science of getting rich, this idea of this blueprint, this millionaire blueprint. If you go back and watch my other videos, this idea of taking money and making money with money, that is the only way you're going to get rich. You're not going to get rich working a job. You're not. But you could take the money from the job and begin to use high income skills. Trading is a fucking skill. There's 156 pages. You think you're going to read that one time and just know it? It's a skill set. To see obvious support, and for me it's obvious, and the next guy, he's like, well, I don't see what you see. I know. You haven't looked at 10,000 charts. You know the 10,000 hour rule? Trading takes skill and practice. The beautiful thing is there's no commissions anymore. Anybody can trade. You can just take your money, put it in and trade. You could buy one share, and when it hits your profit target, sell that one share. You could buy a $200 stock, it moves to $240, you sell it, you now have $240. You can go do it again. And you can just practice this over and over, all day, every day, all year long. You're gonna get hundreds of chances to play this game every day. Or don't do it and just be fucking broke. That's an option too. So, this is the price movement you're seeing. Price gets slammed in Chevron, go look at the chart. I get a reading, that's my first buy. It begins to move the way that I thought. I'm in profit, I'm in profit, I'm in profit. I'm adding, I'm laddering on, I'm buying another lot, whatever you want to call it, into the move. And then price moves up. We hit our previous target, which is super easy. Price has already been there. We're not asking anything a price here. We're not asking for blue skies. We're going from $1.13 or $113, one buy. Next buy is at I think it's $114, $115. And then we're tagging the thing. So on 100 shares, you took $11,300, you turned it into $12,500, $1,000. How long does it take to make $1,000 in dividends on Chevron? A year? So I made a year's worth of dividends if this hits the target, and then I'm back to my core position. Buy and hold, combined with trading, combined with intelligence, combined with some high income skills here. Now to make all of this work, you got to get everything right. And that's what the free ebook is about. You don't have to die broke. Inside of there, I'm going to teach you about your money. See, you can't play this game if you're in fucking debt. You can't play this game if you live a life to give all of your money to creditors. You understand that all those creditors, all those bills, all that shit you're paying for, the consumer stuff I'm talking about right now, meaning you have all these bills, and so you can't play this game. Like, you can't put $2,000 into building a money business. You understand? This is a business. Like, you can make money be a business to make money with money. And you can do that while you're driving truck or working at Walmart or being a plumber. You can start building money with money. And now imagine you get where you can consistently make 10, 20, 30% returns. What happens to 10,000? It becomes 30, and 30 becomes 100. And then along the way, you get your debts cleaned up, you get that other part of your life fixed, you start putting real fucking man-sized money into this, and all of a sudden you're investing $3,000, $5,000 a month. And all of a sudden now you have $500,000, and you have skills, and you have a 36% year on $500,000. What does that look like? That looks like you're almost to $1 million. I've done it. I've studied the flow of these markets for 21 years. I've sat inside of the real estate market now for 21 years, buying properties, 2-bedroom, 1-bath. I save up money because I don't have car payments or student loans or any of this other dumb shit. I got my finances right. I paid off my house. I don't even have a mortgage. So all the money that I go into the world and make, I can just take huge sums of that and then begin to invest in, play this game. And so I got my house right. It's part of the process. Because you can't play this game if your wife won't give you any money to play. You can't get rich if you don't have any money. And you're never going to work yourself rich. It never happens. But anyone, regardless of age, race, or financial situation, can get rich in America playing these games, playing the real estate game, playing the flipping house game, playing the buy and hold in real estate game, playing the stock game, all of this shit. We can sit around and argue that single family versus, adult daycare apartments. If you want to be in the adult daycare business and buy a we can sit around and argue about that and buy and hold and index only and all of that. But that's a game being played by people with money invested. Most people don't even have that. So it doesn't even matter. So my point is, begin to play these games. Begin to study these things. Check out for yourself. What do you think? What do you think? Single family versus, what stock do you think? Why not? Why not get dividends? Why do you got to be old to collect fixed income? Why not invest in fixed income when fixed income's on sale? Like, why you have to have permission to invest in oil stocks when they're on sale? I mean, you need someone to come to the house and knock on your door and say, hey, why don't you join us in this getting rich money thing? Nobody's going to do that. You're going to do that. So if you haven't, I'll get off my soapbox. If you haven't, check out my newsletter. Check out the books. At least start with the free one for sure. If you're into trading, you're going to want to pick up a copy of my ebook or the physical. The physical is kind of cool because it's large. Tons of charts. I like that. That's just me. I break down the indicators I use, my little strategy here that we're talking about. And then check out the podcast. Peace. Subscribe, man. Appreciate it.